What's up, everybody? Today we are going to go over some stretches to do before your workout. Now I recommend foam rolling with a high or low density foam roller before your stretch. That way you can assess the muscle tone and know what you might want to stretch a little bit more. Now we're going to go into some stretching. Stretching is a corrective exercise that helps get you into the patterns that you want to get into, like squatting, lunging, hinging, pushing and pulling without any pain. So that's our goal. We're not just stretching to be the most flexible person. We're stretching so that we can acquire the range of motion to also acquire the muscle needed and adaptations needed to do what we want to do in life. So that's why we stretch. So I like to use a wedge or just a pad for our knees so that we're protecting our knees. And sometimes they also assist us or help us progress the stretch. So the first stretch I'm going to do is a basic half kneeling hip flexor stretch. You can do that with the blue pad or the wedge. Most people have a pad, or if you don't have a pad, you can always use a pillow. What I'm going to do is set up in the half kneeling position. I'm going to curl my back toe because that's one thing that many people lack is dorsiflexion of the big toe and dorsiflexion of the ankle. So we always want to practice getting that toe dug into the ground in our half kneeling position. We don't want to extend our back, and we don't want to be in a position that our knee is behind our ankle. We want our ankle or tibia and fibula parallel with our spine in this exercise. The hips are square or neutral, so are my ribs. My ribs aren't flared out. I want my ribs down and in, so I'm going to take a big exhale, let those ribs sink down and in, and then I'm going to inhale 360. So forward, backward, and expand laterally into my sides, each inhale for about 3 seconds. Then I'm going to hold my breath for 4 seconds, and then I'm going to exhale for 5 seconds. So it's a 3, 4, 5 count. What I'm going to do is do that 3 inhales, 3 exhales for each stretch, and then I will switch to the other side, okay? So let's go ahead and start. Now, you can line everything up on the same line to progress the stretch, balance, and coordination, but we're going to keep the feet hip width apart for this specific stretch today. So our hip flexor stretch, we're going to lean forward. Again, our spine and front tibia and fibula are going to match each other. So once they're straight, so they're going to kind of work together. We're going to feel a stretch in our front hip flexor. Our hip flexor is obviously important for running and moving in general. We want to be able to have a nice loose hip flexor during sports because we obviously sprint a lot. And for the general public, we're always sitting, so this muscle tends to be tight from being overactive. So I'm going to take a big inhale through my nose, fill up core 360, hold for about 4 seconds, and then exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale, and back up. Go ahead and switch. I'll do a front view here for you. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. Try to pierce your lips when you exhale. Inhale, through the nose, fill up 360. Exhale, lean forward. Good. The more we exhale, the more that we turn our core on and also engage with our diaphragm, transverse abdominis, internal and external obliques. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and perform a 90-90 stretch. So more of the hip rotators and internal rotators, external and internal rotators. So my knees are at 90 degrees and my hips make 90 degrees. My ankles are at 90 degrees. So we call this the 90-90 stretch, okay? So knees are in line with my hip. My front foot is in line with my back knee and back foot on the same line. I'm gonna look forward. My hands are out like kickstands. I'm going to bow the spine, so I'm going to try to lift my chest up as I try to pull myself into the stretch. So I'm trying to pull this leg off the ground as I lean forward on my exhale. So I'm going to take an inhale, 360, hold, big exhale, and go to your end range. 2 more. Good. All right, now we're gonna rotate toward our back knee. I'm gonna kind of screw my hands into the ground and push my knee into the ground. If this is painful, you could bring your knee up onto a pad, take the pressure off. We're gonna feel it in this front hip flexor as we rotate back. Same thing, inhale, 360, hold, exhale for 5 as you rotate even more. Inhale. Now we're going to go ahead and switch side. 90-90 on the opposite side. First line up. The knee is in front of the hip. The back knee and back hip are parallel with the front shin. Front foot is in line with the back knee and back foot. We're going to look forward, big chest, lean forward or hinge forward, pull that front leg into the belly. Inhale, 360, exhale, pierce the lips like you're blowing out candles. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Rotate back for internal rotators. You can feel that in the front of the hip. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. I will just perform a simple butterfly stretch. We're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together, push our elbows into our knees. Feel that stretch. Inhale, try to sit up nice and tall. You can also bring your back to a wall to make this so you're not cheating. Inhale, 360 thorax and abs and back and outer sides, everything. Inhale, exhale 5 seconds. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, try to push those knees down. Exhale, get those knees down. Now, if you're not pushing to end range, you'll never get there. So make sure that if you're comfortable, you're probably not doing it right. You're gonna be a little uncomfortable. It shouldn't be painful, but it shouldn't be comfortable. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and perform adductor rocks. So, kneeling on a pad to start, and then widening the knees and bring my hands out in front in the quadruped. I'm gonna go as far as I can, feeling the adductors in this stretch, and I'm gonna abduct the knee that is not on the pad. Point my toe forward, so try not to be like that. And then we're going to point the back toe in plantar flexion, and we're gonna sit back on it, and you'll feel a stretch in the adductors on both sides. So we're gonna take an inhale, belly, abdomen, sides, back, exhale 5 seconds and sink back. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. All right, let's go ahead and switch side. Widen the knees as far as possible to start. One knee on the mat. Abduct opposite leg. Toe forward. Point the back toe. Plantar flexion. Make sure the knee's straight. Shouldn't be bent. From here, we're gonna sink back on our exhale. So take an inhale first. Screw the hands into the ground. Exhale. Inhale forward. Exhale, sink into it. Inhale forward. Exhale, sink. Good. From here, let's move out of that position. You can also perform a V stance, T-spine rotation. That will also hit the adductors if you are not able to get into that position. So we'll get into that after this next stretch. So the next one is going to be a T-spine rotation. So we're going to strictly use the T-spine. We're going to try to take the lumbar out. The lumbar is a stabilizer and the T-spine is a mobilizer. So we want to try to mobilize the T-spine and stabilize the lumbar in this exercise, not only to strengthen the lumbar, but also to give mobility to the upper. So we're going to bring the elbows in front of the knees, and then we're going to bring one hand onto the opposite lat. I'm going to look up at the ceiling and rotate, and I'm going to take an inhale, 360, and then as I exhale and blow out as hard as I can, I'm going to keep rotating up toward the sky. 2 more. And then you can also bring the hand behind the back of the head here. But the problem is if you don't have the shoulder mobility, you'll be fighting that instead of getting the stretch. So I'm going to go ahead and look up, follow the eyes, inhale. Fighting for inches or centimeters on your exhale. Good. Let's go ahead and switch side. Elbows in front of the knees. And collapse quadruped position. Wrap one arm to the opposite lat, armpit. Hold on tight. Look up at the ceiling and rotate. Follow the eyes. Inhale, 360. Hold. Blow out. Inhale. Hold. Rotate as you exhale. Exhale hard. One more. Rotate and exhale. And behind the head if you want. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Now if you're not able to get into that position, you can also try the wide stance T-spine rotation using a foam roller. for support or a wedge. So if you have a foam roller or any box, you can put your hands on it with a wide stance, reach to the armpit, look up at the ceiling and rotate. Inhale, big exhale, inhale, exhale, and then to progress this, you can get that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and get the other side. And you can also bring the hand behind. Good. So that would be the V stance, Y stance, T-spine rotation, and then the collapsed kneeling T-spine rotation. So again, trying to mobilize the thoracic spine and stabilize that lumbar spine. All right, next thing, we're gonna go to the gastroc or the soleus and the Achilles. So you can do this standing or in the half kneeling position. I'm gonna show you how it looks standing first. So first find a beam or a wall. And then what we're going to do is place the foot about 5 inches away from the beam or wall, push into the beam or wall, put all the weight on our front foot, lean the knee over the toe, the middle of the foot, the knee goes over the middle of the foot, and then go back. So almost all the pressure is on that front knee or front foot, lean forward, knee over the midfoot, and then you'll feel that stretch in the Achilles and gastroc. Okay, switching side. Again, all the weight in that front foot. Lean the knee over the middle toe. And about 5 rocks each. Okay. I'm also going to show you how to do that in the half kneeling position, okay? So, same concept, putting all the weight in that front foot as much as possible, and then knee over the big toe, or the middle toe. To advance this, you can go over the big toe and then over the pinky toe if you want to move in different angles for the ankles. That would be my go-to ankle stretch. Again, half kneeling, knee rocks over the middle toe, and you might prefer one over the other depending on your ankles and knees. Okay, so that would be the ankle stretch I would prefer before my workout. For my quad or my thigh, the top of my thigh, what I'm going to do is set up against a wall or a box, use a pad, place my knee as close as I can to the box to start, and then I'm going to put my foot on top of the box and then try to sit all the way up using support from a foam roller or 2 dowels. From here, I'm getting a big stretch in my quad and also my hip flexor. I'm going to inhale, big exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And switch side. There's also a standing version of this we'll do after. All right, now if you feel like that box is a little too high, which may have been for me, we'll go ahead and switch it up. Again, you can do this using a wall or a box. Yeah, that's probably a better position for me. Inhale, 360. You don't have to rock too much, but you can just hold a good position. You can exhale and drop back if you want, or just hold this position. Now this can be tricky. So rocking may be better than holding, or holding may be better than rocking, depending on your situation. Again, about 3 inhales, 3 exhales, using that 3, 4, 5 breath. Good. All right, so now I'm going to show you the standing version. Using a wall or a beam, what I'm going to do is make sure that you can see. But you're going to put your foot up the wall in a dorsiflex position. So before I was plantar flexed. Now my toe is pointed down, not up toward the sky. And then from here, I'm kind of pushing my knee into the beam or wall. I can use dowels for support, overhead support, and then I'm just stretching this quad. Same idea here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then switch. And the reason why we want to exhale hard and keep our pelvis neutral with our ribs is because we want our tissues to be stretched in that position, and we want to be in that position for optimal performance. Once we start losing that posture, then we start getting tight in really bad spots and we can prevent injuries by stretching. So same thing other side, inhales and exhales, and you should be on your third exhale. Good. All right. So those are some basic stretches you can perform before your workout. The last thing I'm going to do is an upper body one. It's called the shoulder slides. You do this sitting with your back against the wall for a progression, but the baseline is laying on your back, making a W, and then taking an inhale and keeping your ribs down on your exhale. Keep your back flat into the ground so that the pelvis and ribs are aligned. Again, take another inhale, but don't let those ribs flare too wide open. Keep it all internal. 360 inhale. Exhale, ribs down. Press overhead. Inhale down. 360 inhale. Hold 4. Exhale. Now, if you feel like your arms are off the ground, you can always raise. You can put some thick pads so you can get your arms overhead. Otherwise, inhale down, exhale, keep those ribs down on your exhale. Inhale down, exhale. Now, if your back is lifting off the ground, that's telling you that your back is trying to do your shoulders work, meaning that you need to really loosen up the T-spine and shoulders in order for you to stop using your lumbar spine and back to do all your overhead pressing. So reducing long-term injury due to pressing overhead and using your lumbar spine. All right, those are some quick stretches that I would perform during my workout and after my foam rolling. And then I would start performing activation stretches and getting my hamstrings fired up. An example would be, this would be an assisted leg lift. Okay, I have an assistance or a band around my arch, and then I'm going to lift the opposite leg up on my inhale, and on the exhale or descent, I'm blowing out candles. Inhale up, exhale down. I want to make sure that your head is flat on the ground, not like mine is now. Exhale down, and then see if you can do it palms facing up without any support. Exhale on the way down. Inhale up, 360. Slow descent. Inhale. All right, so look for those activation stretches on my YouTube or in the next videos. I'm about to make that right now. Thanks a lot, and see y'all next week. All right.